Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Rasbihari Radha Rasbihari Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिब्रह्मचारी अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमदेसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिब्रह्मचारी अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ऑल ग्लोरीज assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवतिर्नैष्टकी. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, text 59 and 60 also we'll read. We'll recite the verse 59. Sapadi eva abhitaha pashyan disasa apashyat पुरस्थितं वृंदावनं जनजीव्यद्रुम अकीर्णं समाप्रियं सपद्येवाभिधः पश्यन् सपद्येवाभितः पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् सपद्देवापितः पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् सपद्देवापितः पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् सपद्देवापितः पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् पश्यन् पश्यत् पुरस्थितं द्रुमाकीर्णं पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् सपद्देवापितः पश्यन् दिशो पश्यत् पुरस्थितं वृन्दावनं जनाजीव्य द्रुमाकीर्णं समाप्रियम् Mataji's word to word meaning. Sapade, immediately. Eva, indeed. Abhitaha, on all sides. Pashyan, looking. Disaha, in the directions. Apashyat, Lord Brahma saw. Purastitaham, situated in front of him. Vrindavanam, Vrindavan. Jana ajivya dhruma akirnam, dense with trees, which were the means of living for the inhabitants. Samapriyam, and which was equally pleasing in all seasons. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Then, looking in all directions, Lord Brahma immediately saw Vrindavan before him, filled with trees, which were the means of livelihood for the inhabitants and which were equally pleasing in all seasons. Purport by His Divine Grace. Jana Jivya Dhruma Kirnam. Trees and vegetables are essential and they give happiness all year round, in all seasons. That is the arrangement in Vrindavan. It is not that in one season the trees are pleasing, in another season not pleasing. Rather, they are equally pleasing throughout the seasonal changes. Trees and vegetables provide the real means of livelihood recommended for everyone. Sarva Kama Dukha Srimad Bhagavatam 1.10.4. Trees and vegetables, not industry, provide the real means of life. Verse number 60. Yatra naisarga dhurvaira sahasan nirmrugadayah mitrani vajitavasa dhruta tarsakadhikam. Translation. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger, or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. Purport. The word vana means forest. We are afraid of the forest and do not wish to go there. But in Vrindavan, the forest animal are as good as demigods, for they have no envy. Even in this material world, in the forest, the animals live together, and when they go to drink water, they do not attack anyone. Envy develops because of sense gratification. But in Vrindavan, there is no sense gratification, for the only aim is Krishna's satisfaction. Even in this material world, the animals in Vrindavan are not envious of the sadhus who live there. The sadhus keep cows and supply milk to the tigers, saying, "Come here and take a little milk." Thus, envy and malice are unknown in Vrindavan. That is the difference between Vrindavan and the ordinary world. We are horrified to hear the name of Vana, the forest. But in Vrindavan, there is no such horror. Everyone there is happy by pleasing Krishna. Krishnot kirtana gana nartana parau. Whether a Goswami or a tiger or other ferocious animal, everyone's business is the same, to please Krishna. Even the tigers are also devotees. This is the specific qualification of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, everyone is happy. The calf is happy, the cat is happy, the dog is happy, the man is happy, and everyone. Everyone wants to serve Krishna in different capacity, and thus there is no envy. One may sometimes think the monkeys in Vrindavan are envious because they cause mischief and steal food. But in Vrindavan, we find that the monkeys are allowed to take butter, which Krishna himself distributes. Krishna personally demonstrates that everyone has the right to live. This is Vrindavan life. Why should I live and you die? No. That is material life. The inhabitants of Vrindavan think, whatever is given by Krishna, let us divide it as prasad and eat. This mentality cannot appear all of a sudden, but it will gradually develop with Krishna consciousness by sadhana. One can come to this platform. In the material world, one may collect funds all over the world in order to distribute food freely. Yet, those whom the food is given may not even feel the appreciative. The value of Krishna consciousness, however, will gradually be very much appreciated. For instance, in an article about the temple of the Hare Krishna movement in Durban, South Africa, the Durban Post reported, all the devotees here are very active in the service of Lord Krishna, and the results are obvious to see. Happiness, good health, peace of mind, and the development of all good qualities. This is the nature of Vrindavan. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna. Without Krishna consciousness, happiness is impossible. One may struggle, but one cannot have happiness. We are therefore trying to give human society the opportunity for life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God consciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Ratkripatamagham Bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In this section, we are reading how Lord Brahma stole the calves and the cowherd boys, and then instantly he saw they were there and he was stunned when he saw all of them were Vishnumurti forms. And he could also see each one of the forms, Vishnumurti form, they are surrounded by all the opulences. We also discussed in Vaikunta, the residents are also having the similar form except Kaustubha jewel and Srivatsa mark. Here, it was all Vishnumurti form. And he was so stunned when he saw all the opulences, 24 elements, everything, and exhibiting such Chit Ananda, bliss and full of knowledge. It's stunned. He just was like, frozen, you can say. He's just frozen. He was not knowing what's happening here. So it is stated, he was astonished and jolted. So much so that it looked like a toy of a small baby. The babies have small toys to play. And what he had was like the toy in front of a village deity. In villages they have big deities, Compared to the deity, the toy is actually nothing. So much so that, so much he was stunned, then he could not see anything. Blank. He was frozen and then blank. Then Krishna removed the curtain of Yogamaya. And then his external consciousness was revived. He was as good as a dead man coming to life. Momentarily, just it's all happening in the time scale we have discussed. It's just nothing. It's very fraction of the fraction of a fraction of a second actually. Then, as it is described in this verse, he saw Vrindavan with full of trees, vegetables. Sri Sri Radha Ras Vihari Ji ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So, Vrindavan was revealed to him. He was already in Vrindavan actually. So it is a revised version. Now you see, in this, he saw the entire universe. In that universe, there is Vrindavan, and in that is place. You know what it is means. Such a huge universe, it's some small is there. His position was revealed, and he could see the Vrindavan with the full of natural beauty, trees and river and all those wonderful things. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Jana Jivya Dhrma Krirnam. Trees and vegetables are required, and they are good for all the seasons. It's not that there are seasonal fruits, seasonal vegetables, but then in one season something, then another season something else will be there. So you will have something to eat actually. It's not that you will go empty. In the whole forest, there will be something to get for you to survive. All the living entities. Human being also. Sometimes some plants, we don't use them. We think they are useless. No. Prabhupada said, no, you are useless. It is useless for you, but it is not that you are the only entity in this world, So many other species may use it. Something which is useless for us, it may be useful for some other species. So Krishna has made arrangement of food for all living entities in the forest. Different things. And Prabhupada says, quotes actually the verse, Sarva Kama Dugha. So it is stated in the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He ruled the kingdom in such a religious way, following the dharma, that it is stated that when dharma is properly followed, material nature becomes very happy and supplies everything profusely. When sinful activities are predominant, then material nature also withdraws the supply. So Yudhishthira Maharaj time, material nature was very happy, Mother Earth was very happy, supplying so much, whatever needed. Earth was producing everything in profuseness. So much so that it is stated, the cows, their udders were so filled with milk, unless they are very nicely maintained and they are very happy. So when they walked, the milk was dropping and making the field wet. You can see what was the opulence of that kind of living situation. Yudhishthira Maharaj's kingdom. So Srila Prabhupada quotes. So what we need to do is, we follow the dharma and follow the laws of God, then the material nature will supply profusely. The modern days, we think that whatever we need, we can get it from industry. Because no, not industry. In industry we can make only nuts and bolts. But those things you cannot eat actually. You can't eat. What you need to survive, live, is coming from material nature, not from industry. You may have food processing industry, but food has to come from the field to process it in the industry. No? You can't process the food which is not cultivated. So in this way, Vrindavan was shown to Lord Brahma and its wonderful opulence. And in the next verse, verse number 60, it is described how there is no hunger, anger and thirst. These are the material qualities in Vrindavan. And because of which the living entities live in harmony, including the human being and fierce animals. They are living in harmony, in the transcendental friendship. It is stated here. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Vana means forest. And generally, in forest there are so many living entities, sometimes wild animals also. It could be tiger, it could be lion, it could be even a wild bull actually. So, people don't try to go if you want to be peaceful, you want to live a very comfortable life. You don't take risk of getting in. If you are going to go inside, then you'll have to be well prepared for protecting yourself. You are not well prepared, won't get into trouble. There, we feel that a wild animal may attack us. What happens in the forest? Suppose there is a tiger. And tiger is living in the forest. So he is thinking, I am tiger. And he gets hungry. Hunger not there is, will come to later actually. When you are situated on the transcendental platform. When you are identifying yourself as tiger, that is on the bodily platform. Hunger is part of the bodily activity. Everybody has to be hungry. And then he is going around. Suppose you are hungry, you will try to find out some prasad, kidhar hai prasad, hum bhi dhoondte hai na. So tiger is trying to find, and then he is seeing a deer. Then what happens? He is not actually seeing a deer, he is seeing food. Deer is, he is seeing so many vegetables also, vegetables, trees, fruits. That is, for tiger, if you are in that particular body, your sense organs are designed in such a way that you identify certain things as food, certain things as good, certain things as not good. Human body, you identify certain things as your food, certain things are good, certain things are not good. You are in tiger body, whole world view changes. For tiger, something else is good, something else is not good. So when he sees a deer, a human being sees a deer, there may be somebody wanting to hunt it, but it depends upon what mode you are in. If you are in the mode of goodness, then you may even take care of it. Tiger is seeing the deer, and he is seeing it as the source of sense object. Sense object. Oh, my hunger is going to be satisfied with that. So he is chasing and actually attacking. But if one is situated on the spiritual platform, he will not think deer as the tiger will not think the deer as the food. He will think something else. What he will think was demonstrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Jharkhand forest. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his way to Vrindavan. So he was passing through Jharkhand. So when he walked through Jharkhand, the tiger and the elephant, the wild animals were there also. It is not that they were not there. As soon as they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they gave way. Suppose if somebody walks, the tiger will see and he will think food, deer also food, human being also he will think as food only. He is not going to think something. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is walking. Tiger is going this way, elephant is going this way. And when Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was accompanying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw this. He was actually scared of these animals. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going, so piche chala gaya. ठीक है भाई, हमको भी रास्ता मिल रहा है. One day the tiger was lying on the way. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched the tiger with his feet. How much fortunate tiger must have been. He touched the tiger and he said, chant Krishna. We have to follow the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not the activities of Jharkhand forest. Then tiger got up and said, Krishna, Krishna. Tiger chanted Krishna, Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to take bath in the river. And when he was taking bath in the river, the elephant herd came, the elephants came there and they came to drink water. The elephants go to the river to drink water. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu splashed a little water. Chant Krishna, Krishna. Elephant became ecstatic. As soon as the drop of water touched by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, touched the body of elephant, ecstasy. Krishna, Krishna, that elephant chanting, I don't know, I cannot imitate elephant chanting. chanted in ecstasy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was walking, the tigers were following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not to attack, they are following because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu getting some closeness to the Supreme Lord. By following tigers were deers. You don't find deers following tiger, Deer, when it sees the tiger, it will run in the opposite direction. So tigers are following, deers are also following. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu turned back. When he saw tiger is following the tiger is the deers, then actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited this verse. This is 60 is on the verse? Yes. This particular verse Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited. Yatra naisarga dhurvaira sahasan nrimrugadayah mitrani vajitavasa dhruta ruttarsa kadikam. Which means Vrindavan, actually when he saw tiger is following him and the deers are following the tiger, he remembered Vrindavan. Whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see something very much close to Vrindavan atmosphere, he will remember. A body of water he will see, he will think it is Yamuna. He will see a heap of sand in Puri, he will think it is Govardhan, like that. When he saw tigers are following, immediately remembered Vrindavan is a transcendental abode of the Lord. There is no hunger, anger or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. This verse. Transcendental. So, the tiger and the deer, they live together in transcendental friendship. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered this verse. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this, then he said, chant Krishna, all the group, tigers and deer. They started dancing and chanting, and tiger is kissing deer. And the deer is also kissing tiger. You can imagine, this is something extraordinary. The tiger is not thinking it is tiger. He is thinking I am servant of Krishna. The deer is not thinking he is deer. He is thinking servant of Krishna. So two servants of Krishna come together, they will dance, That is what is happening. For external point of view, we are seeing them, tiger and deer are chanting. In the bodily platform, tiger and deer are dancing. On a spiritual platform, they are two devotees dancing. Two devotees dancing. Two devotees come together. Matchitta matgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantastamam nistyam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. No, you get happiness actually getting association. So, Srila Prabhupada writes, in the Vrindavan, even the animals are like demigods. Animals are like demigods. And Prabhupada writes, there is no envy between the living entity. Envy is a quality which actually keeps the living entities in the material world. Envy is actually feeling of unhappiness over somebody else's happiness. If somebody is possessing something, he is happy, I feel unhappy about it. Why this fellow is having this? Or, to put it other way around, feeling happy when somebody is unhappy. किसी को मिला नहीं, अच्छा हो गया, मिला नहीं. पर सुख दुखी. Para sukha, somebody else is happy, you become dukhi. Or para dukkha sukhi, somebody is, dukhi, you become sukhi. Exactly opposite of a Vaishnava quality of compassion, Daya. So what we say? We say that para dukkha dukhi. If you see somebody is suffering in the material world, then you feel the suffering and you say, hey, something or other I have to do to relieve the suffering. Or para sukha sukhi. Somebody is happy, you can be happy also. No? If not that. Envy operates exactly opposite of that material world. So in the spiritual world, everybody is para sukha sukhi. Somebody sees another devotee is doing something good, he is happy also. Why he is happy? Because of that activity Krishna is pleased. Because pleasing Krishna is the central theme. Pleasing Krishna is central theme. If pleasing Krishna is central theme, there will not be any envy actually. If pleasing oneself is the central theme, there will be lot of unhappiness actually. Not little. Because every day you will find it happening. Every day you will find it happening. So, it is a very serious problem. Chanakya Pandit says, there are two entities envious. One is snake, another is a envious human being. Out of these two, Chanakya Pandit says, it is easy to deal with snake. Not an ordinary water snake, it's a venomous cobra. Chanakya Pandit says there are ways to bring the venomous snake under control by means of mantra, by means of some herbs, chanting some mantra, you can bring them under control. But an envious person, very difficult to deal with. There is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is there, if we can use that, that will be nice. But otherwise, more difficult to deal with a person. So, we can see this so nicely in the pastime of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, he was chanting the holy names in a cave. And then, actually there was a venomous snake living there in the cave. It was living. Who was there first? If you see, most probably the snake must have been there. If there was some human being, the snake would not have gone there. In all probability, snake was there already. Haridas Thakur was chanting. And people came to take his association, they were scared. Haridas was not scared. He was chanting. Because he was absorbed in chanting, so he didn't even know snake is there or not. Others said, no, you leave this place, there is a venomous snake. So even though venomous snake was there, it did not attack anybody. So when Haridas Thakur was prepared to leave the place, the snake left the place. By Haridas Thakur's chanting, snake also was elevated to the platform of Krishna consciousness. The spirit, the Paramatma within the heart, अरे भाई तुम जाओ ना तो क्या कर रहे थे? Listening to Paramatma is also a difficult thing, Even Paramatma says something, we should be prepared to listen. Snake is ready to listen. Because by the chanting of Haridas Thakur, snake left. So, snake can be brought under control by mantra, but Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can bring the snake under control and act in a very Vaishnava way. Make him a Vaishnava. Like a Vaishnava he left. No, why I should trouble another? Went away. But there was an envious person called Ramachandra Khan. So this Ramachandra Khan was envious. Snake is also envious, but snake he dealt it very nicely. Ramachandra Khan, he was so envious of Haridas Thakur, he sent a prostitute in the middle of the night so that he can actually discredit Haridas Thakur. Bada sadhu jaisa hai, kya karta hai dekhe. So, for Haridas Thakur, whether snake was there or a prostitute is there, it didn't make any difference for him because he was situated on the transcendental platform. Bodily platform, one could have got attracted. If somebody is on the transcendental platform, even though good opportunity, nobody would have seen. रात को करके किसी को मालूम ही नहीं पड़ता था. But if you are on transcendental platform, he knows that his original position to serve Krishna, and this will not help. The prostitute got converted, but Ramachandra Khan, because of his envy, he actually offended Haridas Thakur. So much so that Nityananda Prabhu actually cursed him, and his entire life was ruined. A envious person and a snake, Haridas Thakur, when he dealt, it was very easy to deal with actually the snake. The snake went away without anything. But Ramachandra Khan, he can't change. It's not easy to change an envious person. Being envious means we are taking a risk of getting ruined in Krishna consciousness. And Lord Kapila states that devotional service executed a person in envious state of mind is in the mode of ignorance. Lord Kapila. Ignorance. Devotional service only, it's not something else. Devotional service, but he very envious, proud, violent, angry. Lord Kapila says, lowermost, mode of darkness. Mode of darkness. And Srila Prabhupada says, in the spiritual world, there is no envy between devotees. No envy. No envy at all. And envy, why one should be envy actually? Because we cannot tolerate somebody's better situation. But we should understand, each one of us are in our own situation, whatever it is, because of our previous activities. I am not going to get something better than what I deserve. Even if I want the moon, anybody can desire. Desiring, what is the limit? The sky is the limit, they can say. But deserving is also there. If I don't deserve, I am not going to get. I can keep desiring jumping. I can keep jumping like a monkey, but moon is not, I am going to catch the moon anyway. So, somebody else has got something because of their own both material karma or even spiritual activity that he has done in the previous life, he is continuing from there. Quite possible. So if he is situated in something else, there is no need to be worried. Okay, it is business between Krishna and him, business between me and Krishna. There is nothing called business between me and him. No. If this is not overcome, and when a person cultivates this attitude of envy, then it ends up in what is known as Vaishnava Aparad. Srila Prabhupada says that envy against another devotee means Vaishnava Aparad. Daksha was very, very unhappy for having Lord Shiva as his son-in-law. He actually was very offensive towards Lord Shiva. So much so that his entire yajna, Daksha yajna, became a field of curses and counter curses. Nandidev cursed Daksha, and and the Brahmanas cursed the followers of Shiva. It was like chaos. Because of the serious offense of Daksha, he has to lose his human head. He has to get the head of a goat. Long story, we will not get into the details. By engaging in envious act, offensive act, you lose what you have. Already you have something and somebody else something more, and now you are envious of that person. The situation will become that what you have also you lose it. Serious actually. What you have lose. So in this way there are so many incidences which all clearly show that how envy is not something we should be desiring to have it. Prithu Maharaj was envious. Indra was envious of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj was going to do his 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. Indra was so envious, he stole the horse actually. Stole the horse. Envy. In the pastime of Chitraketu, Chitraketu, after not having a child for so long, finally got a child from his principal queen, and he had got so many queens, and they all became envious. Right? Chitraketu's attention was always on the child and the principal queen. Other queens were neglected. They became so envious. Their heart became so hard. Envy makes the heart hard. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is to soften the heart. Heart of a devotee is supposed to be as soft as a lotus, not as hard as a rock. It all depends upon activities. It is stated that the co-queen's heart became so hard, like a rock, that they administered poison to the child. The child is very innocent, right? You give anything, the child will eat. You give anything, the child will consume. So they just went and gave an innocent child poison. Child died. This is the cause of envy. Envy is that which actually makes a person's heart to become hard. In the hardened heart, one can actually commit offenses. And that offenses ruin one's spiritual life. So, it is stated that the difference between material life and spiritual life is, in spiritual world, in Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha, every entity is in harmony with Krishna. If you are in harmony with Krishna, you will be in harmony with everybody else. And there is no question of disharmony there. When 4 Kumaras were so eager to have the darshan of Lord Narayana, they passed through 6 gates. 7th gate, they were stopped by Jai and Vijay. They thought that what is this, some naked children are running around. They are not in proper dress code to see Narayana. No, you expect that. No, you are servant of a boss. You expect to know what is expected in Vaikuntha. There was no case before that anybody came naked actually. So they are in their own way, they stop. 4 Kumaras said, what is this? Vaikuntha is supposed to be a place of harmony. And you are thinking disharmoniously? Where is the question of enemy coming into this territory? There is no enemy of the Lord can enter into the Vaikuntha atmosphere. Enemies don't enter. We are not enemies. You think that we are something and you are something? Duality. Dvanda. We are residents of Vaikuntha. These kids are from where we don't know. They don't belong here. So stop. Since your mind, the duality has come. In the spiritual world, there is no duality. Duality means existence of opposite realities. Light and darkness. Opposite reality. Dvanda. Heat and cold. Dvanda. In the Vaikuntha, there is no Dvanda. And how is that you are thinking like this? Then you are not fit to be here. You have to go to the world where Dvanda is more. Chalo, niche ja. For just doing their duties, little bit exhibited the duality. They were sent to the world of duality, material world. So, Lord Krishna says, Ichcha dvesa samutvena dvanda mohena bharata. Dvanda. The duality is arising out of Ichcha and dves. Desire and hatred. Desire something which pleases me, I have desire. Something I don't like it, I hate. So these qualities, as long as they are dvanda. In the spiritual world, Vrindavan, there is no dvanda. Come out of this, Lord Krishna says. So, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, envy is the quality that develops because of sense gratification. If somebody desires to have sense gratification, the envy becomes the natural product. Envy creeps in. And in Vrindavan, there is no sense gratification. Don't say that we also eat there. No, you are eating as a service to Krishna, if you are fully Krishna conscious. It's all the whole way of transforming our way of thinking and way of lifestyle. So, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, even in the material world, the forest, the animals, when they go to drink water, they don't attack each other. I have no experience of that, Prabhupada writes here. So, tiger is going to drink water, deer is going to drink water, no attack. And Prabhupada writes, sadhus keeps cows, sadhus, and they keep some milk, and they tell tiger, please come and drink this milk. And the tigers, like a cat, will come, drink and go away. Anyway, tiger is a wild cat. You can see the tiger is also somewhat Krishna conscious. Otherwise, how he will come and drink only the milk of the sadhu and leave the sadhu aside and go? Prabhupada writes in the purport. Sadhus, they feed the tigers also, because for sadhus, every living entity, they take care. Srila Prabhupada was in New York City, early days. So in the entire building, they were doing some pest control. So you do some pest control, you see the pest, from that place they run away somewhere, escape here and there. And they were doing for the entire building. Prabhupada said, no, don't do pest control for my flat. Then all the insects were going to Prabhupada's flat, and Prabhupada did not have any problem. I think pests of that building are very fortunate. Once they went to Prabhupada's flat, they must have got some Mahaprasad actually. Idhar udhar to thoda prasad hota tha. And they must have got, relieved from all the sin, and maybe practicing devotees somewhere, we don't know actually. Prabhupada writes, envy and malice is unknown in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, it is unknown. उधर जाके envy करके बोलता वो क्या चीज है? What is that? Properly situated in Vrindavan. And Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Parao. No chanting, dancing and no singing. That is what they are supposed to be engaged. So Prabhupada says, whether a person is a Goswami or a tiger, everybody's business is to please Krishna. And Prabhupada writes, even a tiger is a devotee in Vrindavan. Everybody in Vrindavan is a devotee. Once, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was 24 hours chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting all the time, living under a tree. So once, Sanatan Goswami was in Govardhan, so he was going to take bath, and then he saw the tiger was drinking water. Nowadays we don't see tiger. You can see 500 years back also there were a lot of tigers in Vrindavan. So Sanatan Goswami saw tiger drinking water, and then it was going very close to Raghunath Das Goswami. He was chanting. If suppose you are absorbed in chanting, you don't have to, you are in meditation. You are like a statue. No tiger is going to come and really attack. Tiger was going nearby. Then Sanatan Goswami came to Raghunath Das Goswami. You better make a bhajan kutir. Don't be like this. So, following the instruction of Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami made a bhajan. Before that, he didn't have a bhajan kutir actually, chanting under the tree, chanting all the time. So, the tiger is also a devotee. In fact, all residents are devotees. Once, in Radhakund, there was a crocodile in Radhakund. How it came, we don't know. Then the devotees were very scared of, taking bath. The king of Manipur, they come to Radhakund, during festival time. In fact, there is a temple, Manipur Rajbari. The Manipur temple is there. That is actually king's retreat place. It's the palace. It's for their residence. So Manipur king are all devotees, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Narottam Das Thakur's descendant, they converted them. So in Radhakund and Navadip, they have actually places. So this Manipur king came there, and the devotees said there is a crocodile in the Radhakund. And then what this Manipur king did, he killed the crocodile by shooting it. Maar diya usko. The crocodile died. Then all the Brajbasis, Radhakund Vasis, they all came to king. Why did you kill? He said, Are bhai, I am a Kshatriya. I am supposed to give protection. And the devotees are scared of going to Radhakund, so I killed. So I can kill, I am a Kshatriya. No. This crocodile is also a devotee. वो भी हमारा ब्रजवासी है. So anyway, you killed, so nothing can be done. But you have to do one thing. So you have to do the funeral of this crocodile exactly like a Vaishnava. Procession, chanting Hare Krishna and all. So Raja said, no problem, that is no problem for me. So this crocodile was circumambulated to Radhakund, and funeral procession, all Radhakund Vasi chanting the holy name. They did a royal, with full respect, like another Brajavasis, funeral was conducted. So this is actually to exhibit how even a ferocious animal, dangerous animal, however they dangerous are, but in the domain of Braj, they become Brajvasis. And dealing with them has to be very, very cautiously and carefully done. If somebody gets into the materialistic mood and deals with the residents there, offense starts from there. That's why Prabhupada said, if you are not in Braj consciousness, stay here for 3 days and get out. Your consciousness doesn't fit in, frequency doesn't match. If frequency doesn't match, then what you can do there? So Prabhupada writes, everybody is happy in Vrindavan. A calf is happy, a dog is happy, a man is happy, cat is happy, crocodile is happy, everybody is happy. Because everyone is serving Krishna without envy. Prabhupada also says, sometimes monkeys, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the monkeys, they actually do a lot of mischief. They come and pick up your prasad. Suppose if you are taking prasad, they will come and pick up. What to speak of prasad, even if you have spectacles, they come and pick your bead back, So sometimes we think that they are envious of us. No, Prabhupada, no, they have right to live also. Krishna himself fed butter, chalo sab log butter khao. Because the animals, they also have a right to live. Monkey has a right to live. Mosquito has a right to live. Everybody has a right to live. This world is Krishna's house, and they are also residents, and they have a right to live also. Sometimes we think that we only have a right to live. Others don't have. Mosquito is coming to us and biting. Whether it is, what is dharma? Actually, it is mosquito's dharma to bite us. He is not doing any adharma. But if we kill the mosquito, we are doing adharma. You have to protect yourself. You have a right to protect also. You put your mosquito net, you put whatever you want to put. We have a right, mosquito has a right, monkey has a right. So monkey, he cannot be punished because he took prasad from your hand. You have to protect, you are ignorant, you should protect your prasad properly. Why you didn't protect? By seeing that you are putting glass and he is thinking, why I cannot put the glass? So you protect your spectacles, you can't blame the monkey. Yes, he can be mischievous, but then Krishna's devotee, to kuch to kar raha hai. But best thing is to protect ourselves than beat a monkey. If you beat a monkey, then we have to see. what we can get. Srila Prabhupada writes, this developing the Braj mentality, Vrindavan mentality is not sudden, instantaneously. It's the whole process. The process of Krishna consciousness by doing sadhana. The proper sadhana given by Srila Prabhupada, our acharyas in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, if one follows very sincerely and seriously, this achieving the consciousness of being in Braj is a natural consequence. Not something we have to manufacture it or bring it from somewhere. It's there already. Potentiality is there. It has to manifest by means of proper execution. Srila Prabhupada concludes the purport by stating that sometimes we distribute prasad. Prasad distribution is one of the important things. So Prabhupada writes, we may collect fund all over the world and bring the money and distribute prasad. The person who is receiving immediately, he may not immediately appreciate. Still you give prasad. But the process is very slow. Slowly you will become eligible to become Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, a quote from a newspaper article. Newspaper article telling that the devotees are distributing prasad, food, and then the newspaper is telling all devotees here are very active in serving Krishna, and it is very obvious to see they are very happy, good health, peace of mind, and development of good qualities. Newspaper wala is telling. It becomes so evident for an outside person also to just to see the good qualities manifesting. So Srila Prabhupada says, our Krishna consciousness is to give this to the world. ISKCON, we, Srila Prabhupada says, therefore trying to give the humanity the opportunity to get the life of happiness, life of peace of mind, good qualities. By practicing Krishna consciousness, one can develop that, which will actually qualify us to get the ultimate goal of going back home, back to Godhead. So to conclude, we see that Brahma was so stunned, and Lord Krishna lifted the Yogamaya, then he could see Vrindavan, the inhabitants, and how it was Vaikuntha atmosphere, everyone is living in harmony, and Srila Prabhupada says, our practice of Krishna consciousness is to develop how to live in harmony with all our necessities. And when one develops those qualities by sincerely and seriously practicing the sadhana bhakti, one can actually get the eligibility to actually live in this Vrindavan, Bhuloka Vrindavan, in full harmony with the residents there, including the monkeys and pigs and all entities that you may see. And that elevates us and qualifies us to go back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan. Stop here. Any questions or comments? Mike.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in group services, if 2 or 3 devotees are there and someone is so fast, someone is so slow, so that enmity will come. So how we can balance if everyone thinks like I do my according to my capacity?
It is all up to how much of your effort you are giving. I should give my 100% in performing the service. If I give my 100%, by means of which I can only lift a pebble, but to lift that pebble, I give my 100%. And if Hanuman has to come and lift a big boulder, and he is giving his 100%, he may even lift a mountain for that matter. And for Ramachandra, both are services, and he appreciates both. He doesn't say that why you lifted only a pebble. But the squirrel can only lift a pebble, you know. You don't expect a squirrel to... But everybody was engaged in the service of making the bridge. Somebody is lifting the pebble, somebody lifting a small stone, somebody lifting a big boulder. Everybody is doing, everybody's service is appreciated. The bottom line is whether you are giving your 100%. If you can lift a boulder, you only lift a small pebble, that is not acceptable. I can do something better, but क्यों करने का? सोएगा, सोते रहो. ऐसे सोते सोते तो ऐसा रह रहे हम लोग अभी क्या? So bottom line is how much effort you are giving. If you are given 100%, don't worry who is doing how much. Because psychophysical nature that we have got, because of our previous material and spiritual activities, with that psychophysical nature we got, our limits are set. So within that limits, if I am giving 100%, nobody can blame that devotee. But if he can do more, don't do it, then he is losing the opportunity. If you have done your 100%, you don't have to worry. You have done your duty and Krishna will recognize it.
And is it right that as we advance, limit is also increased? Or
if you gain, do it. If you are able to do it, do it. If you get more capacity, you get more intelligence, you get more facilities, yes. Whatever situation you are put in that situation you have to do 100%, that's the point. That is Krishna consciousness. No devotee in Vrindavan thinks when they have to offer, they offer everything to Krishna. If a devotee brings a basket of laddus, it's not that 2 laddu packet में डाल दिया फिर बाकी लड्डू दे दिया, देखो प्रभु इतना है, क्योंकि ले लेगा तो क्या करेगा? You don't have to worry. Krishna will give more laddu to you. More than laddu also he will give. Don't retain something, give everything. That is the Vaikuntha atmosphere. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is to come to that level so that you get qualified. Otherwise you don't qualify. You are not qualified. We are not qualified to go back to Godhead as long as we are not ready to give up our material propensities. Period. Question is whether you want to go back to Godhead or you want to remain here. You want to remain here, keep all your material qualities, no problem. Give everything. If you are surrendered to Krishna, you are surrendered yourself. What you can keep for yourself anyway? Atma Nivedanam means what? Giving everything. Surrendering the self. That is what is going to make Krishna to give himself. Can you imagine that? Unimaginable. Don't even have to worry about it. You will get everything. You don't lose by giving, you will get. Be patient. Everything Krishna will give you. You are not going to, by giving you will not lose. You will gain. You will gain your original Krishna consciousness first of all. And then you will gain much more than that which you cannot even imagine. Hanuman Prabhu, yeah, you have something to say on that?
yes, no. Another question is that Ramchandra Puri and Snake both saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and take holy name, hear holy name. So, what is that lacking in Ramchandra? That
My stubbornness not to give away my envy. My stubbornness not to give away my self-interest. Duryodhana was also seeing Krishna. Arjuna was also seeing Krishna. Duryodhana, what he thought of himself? Krishna is going to him and telling him, can you please give 5 provinces? He can create 5 universes for them. 5 provinces in the small Bharata Varsha. This Bharata Varsha itself is so small. 5 provinces, 5 villages, nothing, zero, not even a tip of land contained in the needle. He is also dealing with Krishna. He is talking to Krishna actually. He is so attached for his self-interest. He cannot even recognize the Supreme Lord when he comes and speaks in front of him. So our own fault. We don't want to come out of our imprisonment of no sense enjoyment. We are imprisoning ourselves in our own cage, created by us, not by somebody else. You should be willing to come out. If you are willing to come out, open-minded. If you are closed-minded, nothing can happen in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is supposed to be saral, transparent, easy. No crookedness, diplomacy. You can be very happy by diplomatically doing things in this material world. You decide whether you want to be remaining here only or you want to go there. You have to come out of this. Break open the bars which are binding, which is made by you only. That requires determination. Yes, I want to get out of this. I don't want to be imprisoned. They both were saying same thing only. Attachment. That attachment does not allow us to come out of that idea of how to be non-envious. Envy remains within the heart. Okay.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for inspiring class. प्रभु परम दयालु है और वो सारे भक्तों की इच्छा पूरी करते हैं. जब ये ब्रह्मा जी के मानस पुत्र वैकुंठ चले गए तो अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं लिया, डायरेक्ट चले गए. और जब चले गए तो द्वारपालों को उन्होंने पूछा नहीं कि हम वो दर्शन करना है, पूछा नहीं, फॉलो नहीं किया सिस्टम. फिर उनका इच्छा था जाके दर्शन करने का और इनका इच्छा था कि अंदर नहीं जा सकते हमारा परमिशन के बिना, हम यहाँ के बॉस. तो उनके जगह पे वो सही थे, इनके जगह पे सही थे. फिर उन्होंने गुस्सा होकर उनको जब शाप दिया तो भगवान स्वयं चल कर आए अपने आसन से उठकर, और उन्होंने इनका इच्छा पूरी हुई, दर्शन हो गया, और उनका इच्छा पूरी हुई कि अंदर नहीं जाने दिया. दोनों एक साथ हुआ. तो उसके बाद में उन्होंने कहा तो चतुष कुमारों का एकदम बुद्धि ठीक हो गया, प्रकाश आ गया. बोले हमने तो बड़ा अपराध किया है, आपके सेवक को हमने शाप दिया है, तो आप हमें दंड दीजिए, उनको पुरस्कार कीजिए, जो आपकी इच्छा, आपसे हम सहमत है. तो प्रभु बोले तुमको जो दंड दिया है ये मुझे स्वीकार है. और वो बोले कि 7 जन्म तक भक्त बनकर रहना पड़ेगा पृथ्वी लोक पर आकर, नहीं तो 3 जन्म तक राक्षस बन के रहना पड़ेगा. तो उन्होंने बोला 7 जन्म बहुत लंबा होता है, 3 शॉर्टकट है. इसलिए उन्हें पहले हुए फिर हिरण्याक्ष हिरण्यकश्यपु, बाद में रावण कुंभकर्ण, और तीसरा जन्म शिशुपाल दंतवक्र. तो वैष्णव का अपराध नहीं करना चाहिए, और अपराध करने पर उनके चरणों में दंडवत प्रणाम करके उनसे क्षमा की याचना करना चाहिए, नहीं तो भारी से भारी दंड स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, जय.
हरे कृष्ण. हरे कृष्ण.
कैसे रहा?
अच्छा है, अच्छा बोला है. हाँ.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. I was just, because it came in the purport I am asking. In Vrindavan, even the animals of having natural enmity, they don't feel envious about each other. They don't kill each other, even tiger drinking milk. So it just came to my mind that Garuda, he feeds upon snakes, and how is that?
It is, for every living entity food is also given, no? For every living entity food is given. So within the food what you are eating, that is not anything outside the scope of Krishna consciousness. Devotees are also eating prasad, no? Suppose we are making sprout. No, you put mung dal, sprouts. Actually there is, it's showing the symptoms of life, no? स्प्राउट का ऑफर करता है, फिर खाता है हम लोग. The sprout cannot come in, अरे भाई you are supposed to be very compassionate, why you are eating me, if you allow me I will grow like this. No, you are dharma and this is dharma. You are dharma is there. So sprout का धर्म है किसी का मुंह से जाना है. So that is your dharma, and fruits are there. All these things Krishna has given, specified. ये सब खा सकता है. जो Krishna has given a specification you can eat, if you go and eat that, that is nothing in violation. So for Garuda is also specification there. He can eat snake, he can eat fish, So he can eat these things, so he goes and eats. So that is nothing wrong. When you are hungry, you are going to eat something, that much quota you are eating, you are dharma, that is. You are following dharma. A tiger is dancing with a deer in the Jharkhand, right? Huh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after he went to Vrindavan, a tiger was what? After that he was always dancing or fasting whole life. There is no description, but then भूख लगेगा तो कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. You can offer to Krishna. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. So for Garuda to eat on snake, so for that matter, so Lord Brahma has got swan, vegetarian. Lord Shiva has got bull, vegetarian. Lord Krishna, Vishnu, he has got Garuda, he is a non-veg. Matlab kya hai? He is the most powerful. What he is eating, don't worry. What is he, whether he is doing a service or not, you should worry about it. अपना ड्राइवर नॉन वेज खाएगा तो कुछ मत बोलना, वो खाने दो, इधर मत खाना, बाहर खा के आ जाओ. When Krishna can ride on, Garuda, he is eating snakes and fish, so no problem. So Garuda eating fish or snake, that is his dharma. When he is doing his dharma, you don't have to worry. Adharma you should not do.
You also very nicely explained that when we go to Vrindavan, we should be careful on our part to protect our specs, because monkeys, if they meddle with our specs, we can't blame them. So because we are living in the society of devotees, and some are pure, some are not, like me. So then in our interactions, we also have to be, we sometimes have to feel the brunt of the immature behavior of each other. So how we can safeguard ourselves that we don't land up in committing offenses?
We have to always see that from our point of view, we are doing the right thing. There is something right, something not right actually. Everything is not right. We have to only make sure that I am doing my dharma, my duty. I am not committing any mistake in doing that. If out of ignorance, if I have committed and I realize and not to commit again. So it is most important self-protection. So if I can be assured that I did not do anything wrong, I did not purposefully, knowingly commit something. See, there are two things, sometimes unknowingly you may commit. Sometimes you know what you are doing, still you will do because of your attachment for getting some result. That is not going to be tolerated. You can feel, you can actually, see, we are all having everybody has some intelligence. But with that little intelligence, we can't be very smart and try to fool around. Not going to work for long. It can work for some time. You can fool one person, 2 person. You are not going to fool the whole world. You are not going to fool, by the way, Krishna anyway. So what are then we doing here? Fooling around. Not going to work. From our conscience is there, We know from Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada teaching what is right, what is not right, what is good, what is not good, what I should do, what I should not do is there, thoda ta andar to hai na. In that conscience, if I am convinced that what I am doing is right, go ahead. But that going ahead by means of your ignorance, by means of your immaturity, by means of whatever fault you may have, you have committed something wrong, still you are okay. There will be an opportunity given to you to understand that. Then if you are ready to rectify it, you are good enough. But one is stubborn to keep committing the same thing again and again because of his attachment for material things. That is going to land up in a trouble. That is serious. That is what is to be avoided. That is what is to be avoided. For that, good association, like-minded association, those you may want to do something in particular way, due to your immaturity or not knowing how to do it, but at least you may know somebody who also want to do in the similar way. Due to his maturity, you may be doing in the right way. You have to associate and follow the footsteps. Like-minded association is recommended. What is that like-minded? Unlike-minded is yes, because different levels of immaturity. So you decide where you want to place yourself. If somebody is serious, you will know who is the serious person around. It's not so difficult to recognize. It is quite easy. It is a willingness to give away certain things which you are so attached for matching with that frequency. That is, you have to give, you have to pay a price. Everything comes with a price tag, Nothing is free. Price tag. This is a price tag for Krishna consciousness. Give away something that you are attached to. Very difficult. Because that is how we were, conditioned life after life, we are conditioned to be attached. Now I am telling that, no, you give away. It's difficult. Price tag may be high, but the commodity is much higher than that. So at least for the commodity's sake, I am ready to pay the price. Something may be very, high price, but if the quality is that much, you are ready to pay. That's what. The ultimate thing you are going to buy. So what's the need to worry about the price? Even the price is very high, still ready to pay. If we are willing to do that, then it is okay. Last question, then I am going to close. Last. Quick.
Hare Krishna, very nice class. The comment that I was hearing one class, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. So he tells that we cannot engage envy in the service of the Lord. Other things we can engage like anger, greed for serving the devotees. So he says that those who are in this material world, everybody is envious of God, more or less. So he says one small formula to come out of this envy. So raga, he says, R-A-G-A, raga.
Huh?
Raga is a shortcut for coming out of envy. R for respect, respecting the devotees. A for appreciation, glorification of the devotee, appreciation of the devotees. And G for gratitude towards the devotees. And if we do these three things, and A for affection we develop for the devotee, for serving the devotee to that devotee more and more. So that's how we will come out of that envy if we have towards anyone, any living entity. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.